I started recording. Hey guys, welcome back to another video here at TrinFX. My name is Judge, founder of the TrinFX group and creator of the Discord community. And what we're gonna do to here on this video, what we're gonna do is just look over the trades that were taken for this week, see the profits that were made, and just analyze the things that we could have done better if there was any, and how we went about taking these couple of trades. And as you know, we'll start with the VIP group first, and then we'll work to the normal trading channel. All right, so we're looking at this week trades, which would be from the 14th till now being the 19th, 18th, right, which would have been the Friday. And as you can see here, diving straight into it, first of all, we had an entering CAD CHF trade, right, with a 19 pip stop loss, risking around 0.5%. All right, and as you know, I like to use a very dynamic risk management strategy. So at the start of the week, I would risk 0.5%, around 1% on each trade that I take, and as we increase in profits, the yield that we gain, then we can up our risk to that normal 1% or even higher, 1.5 or 2% risk per trade. All right, just to maximize our yields while still being safe with our overall initial account starting balance. All right, guys. So first trade that we did, we entered with CAD CHF, and we were waiting. And the other one, we were waiting for a better entry on Euro GBP, the stop loss and profit target shown here, right, which was around 20 pips and 12 pips respectively, right? First one being 20 pips, the other being the 12 pips, right? And that was the first set of trades that we were looking at. Now, as you can see here, if we just go into the charts, CAD CHF, hopefully I didn't exit out anything. I didn't clear my charts yet. All right, I did clear it. All right, so CAD CHF. All right, so CAD CHF, let's look real quick at these levels. All right, so we entered CAD CHF right around here. Let's just edit these levels right here, and I'll edit this part out so that you guys could just, get on with the video. Oh my god, we just want to see the profits and see what you did. All right, so I'll just input the levels right here for the CAD CHF. Yeah, just making sure these levels are accurate for you guys. Sorry, just roll this over here. Right, so right around here is where we took the initial trade. Price started to go down, came up a little bit, but it did went into profit somewhere right around here, and we were looking for a continuation of the trade itself. All right, so we did come into profit right around here, right? Price came in right down here, and we were looking for a continuation on this trade, right? Because once we did see this push below this level right here, right, we were looking for a continuation on the other candle that formed, which would be this 1 hour candle. We're looking for a continuation push downwards, right? Initially, one of the things that did end up happening was this level was not that clear to me at the point of time. Yes, looking at it retrospectively, this is a clear level of support that we did have price pushing at, but at the current time when this candle here was forming, it really looked like price would have pushed past this level and we were seeing a continuation downwards. That is when we added a second position on this trade, which resulted in a 1% loss, as you can see here. All right, so we did have that level marked out. Looked like price was going to push past that level. We entered the trade preemptively, right, looking for that continuation to the downside, and as you can see, price did not do that, right? Price ended up maintaining the support and rejected from it. That is one thing with the strategy that I do use and implement in my trading. Sometimes we do enter trades preemptively to get a better entry point on the trade itself to really maximize those yields, right? So that is something that can end up happening from time to time, while be it not that often, but still it is something that happens, right? So hence we did use that 0.5% risk. Really didn't lose. We didn't lose a bunch of profits off of this or anything like that percentage wise. So this was overall a good trade that did end up playing out initially for that like around 1%. and we did set to break even. Price did that break even, and we did get stopped out right here on that secondary entry point, right? So that was the first trade for the week, right? And another one that we were looking at here in the VIP group was Euro GBP, stop loss 20 and 12 pips, right? So we did have some catalysts coming in for the GBP, I believe, and the Euro. I was looking for that price to actually continue pushing downwards, right? So as you can see here, this is one of the as you can see here, this is one of the trade what we were looking at right here. Price did come down a little bit, did wick out to the top here. I believe we exited close to that close to the exit point, right? And we can input the levels here for you guys to see, but I'm not gonna do all that right now, right? Because we do have the same levels here, right? So price did come into this area right here, right? This is where we're looking at for the initial bounce, right? Just so you can see it a little clearer, right? So this is what we were looking at, right? We were looking at this area right here where price was rejected from. We saw some rejection wick right here with this overall bearish push. Was looking for that continuation of the move. As you see, price did form some sort of support, did hold right here at that point. We're like, all right, maybe at this point we could look to actually exit the trade, because price is starting to move kind of shifty, right? Because if we are going to see that continuing selling pressure, then more than likely what we're going to see is that wick right here pushing below these areas of support, right? Those areas being like this area right here where price came into rejected from. Then we had this long wick push pushing past that level, right? So this did become an area of importance because we did have some sort of trouble passing that level before. Here was the point where we did have that ECB news of them being more hawkish in terms of monetary policy statements, right? Price came up to these highs, right? Started rejecting lower. We did come back and touch into that support, was looking for a continuation back downwards, which is what we saw happening here, right? And then price just, you know, came back up. We exited out, minor loss. It's whatever. Sometimes these things happen. You can't allow them to discourage you, right? That's one thing in trading. You have to be able to prepare yourself for the losses, or else you start taking on those losses and it'll mess up with your psychology. That's why a lot of people, new traders, even some experienced or mid-experienced traders, do have a tendency to quit forex after a period of time, especially if they're not seeing the profits that they like to see at the initial beginning. All right, that is something that you can say is unavoidable. You really have to steel your mind in order to be able to hold those losses, right? In terms of taking them when they do happen with a little grain of salt and learn from your mistakes, right? So after that, we did have a NZD USD buy, right? Just looking at it here, this is the buy. We did come into this zone right here. This was on the 14th, right? NZD USD buy, entering a buy here with current price action on the daily. We do see a support along the trend, bottomed out, as well as some minor areas forming here, looking for a push into the resistance zone. And that was the first trade here on NZD USD. Again, I used a 1% risk on this, but assuming that you did use a 0.5% risk, right, we're going to go with the assumption that 0.5% risk was used. Right, this is the trade right here. Price came in right into this area, right? This is where we're looking at, and as you can see, these are the same levels, right? So we do have that 0.65975, 0.65975, right? So same levels on this first trade right here, right? Price came here and pushed back into the support right around here. If we looked on the daily, this is what I saw, right? So we did have this one daily candle here rejected from this area. Again, we did have this other candle here, right, which is a daily bullish candle, pushing pretty strongly up, right? Came here, this area rejected. If we go to the 4-hour, you'll see this more clearly again, right? Came back here, rejected again, rejected. So at this point, we could assume that there's some sort of support maintaining this level. Let me just take our trend, draw a line in this area. We can see that it matches up with the daily perspective of this now being a sort of a counter uptrend happening after price bottomed out at this area right here, right? So at that point, looking at the 4-hour and then looking at the 1-hour, right? This looked like a level we could possibly see price continuing a push up away from. Hence, we took the trade right around this area right here, right? Start our stop loss right inside of that zone, right? And put our profit target to the area of resistance where we'll most likely see price actually starting to continue going up towards to. As you do know, we do have some USD weakness happening with all the Russia and Ukraine stuff. So all of that would have played a part in the price action, weakening the USD a little bit temporarily, and for that continuation upwards, right? So a little bit of fundamentals as well as technicals did come into line. We did see some USD weakness occurring, which was good for this initial setup right here as well, right? So we took the trade, price started moving up. This was an area we were looking at for some importance because, as you can see, we did have multiple wick rejections right here. Price started dancing around that area. Usually when we do see this happening, we can mark this as an area of significance, especially since how initially we saw that bullish push here, then a bearish candle sort of correcting that move into this zone right here. And then we did saw that price kind of dip back into that area of support, right? So we did see this kind of price action happening. Hence, this was an area to mark as some importance, right? Because if we did see this area being broken to the upside, we can now more or less go with a likely assumption that we are going to see that continuation for the initial bias. Hence is why we took a trade right around this area right here. Once we did break and we tested that area, right, we entered another buy setup right here on the NZD USD. As you can see, this played off for 4.8%, right, left it running a little bit, right, and then this one here for that 4%, making this an overall 8% winner. If you use the 0.5% risk, that would be 4%, right? So that's an 8% winner right there. So we took that. The stop loss was 20 pips. Alright, so the stop loss was 20 pips right here. And we also took an NZD card buy as well. This was the NZD card buy right here. Basically same analysis here with the NZD USD. And this was the buy right here, right? So price pushed, retested, pushed up again, came back down the zone, retested, almost whipped us out. Like, watch how close it came to that, to the stop level, right? We were just like one pip away from being wicked out, which is insane, right? So that is something that happens a lot of times sometimes, right? You sometimes get wicked out of your positions. It's really a shock, and then price continues to go in your area, into your profit target. And it is a little bit discouraging when that does happen, when you can't allow yourself to get downed by the losses and let it play with your psychology. The thing that you would look at, right, from a half full, half empty perspective, is the fact that, okay, you did have the initial bias down, so you do know that your strategy does work. You do know that what you're doing is working for you, and overall your analysis is correct. So all you just need to do is probably make some adjustments into your profit targets and adjust your levels as to where you're looking to get stopped out and such, right? One thing I do think with a lot of us as new traders or traders who have been in the markets for quite some time, really want to maximize our gains and make changes to our strategy. To do so, sometimes using tighter stops and whatnot, but we aren't prepared, or the strategy that we have been using thus far hasn't been one to really combat that, right? It hasn't really been one to encompass that sort of tight stop loss, high profit target sort of strategy, right? So that is something that you need to kind of get out from your mind. Profits is profits, no matter if it's small or big, it does not matter. Once you are making profits within the market, eventually you'll reach the point where you want to be, right? So just a little bit of wisdom departed from me to you. So this is what we saw, right? Basically the analysis, same thing with the NZD USD price bottomed out right at this area. We saw these wicks, daily wicks forming right here, sort of a counter trend happening with that sort of uptrend happening on the overall downtrend. We could say that this was a pullback of sorts, maybe to a higher level, maybe somewhere right here. We might see price actually come into this area, then we check and continue back downwards. Who knows, right? We aren't in the business of predicting everything the market would do. We live in the moment, sort of, right? So yeah, this is a possible area that we could look at for price to actually push back down from, or maybe we'll see a continuation of this upward move, right? So price did this. We did have this area of support going to the 1 hour. This is what we saw right here, right? Price rejected from this area, right? After breaking the trend going up, it rejected from this area here, rejected, it came back down, right? We had this strong kind of move to downside. However, this area was still maintained as well, right? So at that point, this was a possible entry that we could have taken here, which was like right around here when we took it, right? This just kind of solidified the idea that this is an area we possibly see price pushing upwards from, right? So this was a 4.4% win, somewhere around that area, right? And we did enter another trade right here as price came down, and this was 8% right here as well, right? So I think no, we had this profit target somewhere right here, and then I extended it higher, right? So this became an 8% winner, and this here was the 4% winner, right? Making this overall 13% win in total, right? So that was the second trade right there, right? So this was at the point of time when the NZD USD was moving, right? Price was in profit, right? Enter the secondary position here. As you can see, we don't cap. That is what we did, right? NZD USD buy, and then the secondary position here. NZD USD looking for price to push higher with the coming news, right? This was the 16th. Let's just see that news event, which I was talking about. The 16th. Yeah, let's just use this calendar here. We're looking from the 13th to the 18th. Apply. And they're showing us all the news, guys. We just want to see the medium impact and the high impact. Alright, so 16th, what we had was some USD retail news, export, imports, industrial, crude, and FOMC minutes, which was particularly what was really on my mind to see, right? FOMC minutes really dictates the standing of the central banks and what it is that we can see in the future for the US dollar, right? So this is really the moving news event that affects the USD rather than everything else that you're seeing here for the USD, like retail sales and stuff like that, right? So this was the news that we were looking at, right? You can see that price actually continued with that push. This was around, don't have this timestamp, but I think it was right around that area, right around then, that we did have the news released, right? NZD CAD buy, entering here, also waiting on news to come and see a potential push, risking 2%, though you should use 0.51% risk for a continuation higher. This looks like the final retest, and so said, so done. It indeed was the final retest, right? So price did push from this area 2%. This was a 16% winner for me. Anyone in the VIP group taking it from 0.5 to 1%, 4 or 8% winner, whichever risk you did feel comfortable using, whichever risk they felt comfortable using, sorry. Right, can close NZD positions at break even to be more conservative if you wanted to, right? We re-entered on the CAD, the NZD CAD at candle close, right? So that's where price did push a little bit lower, and we re-entered on that, and price then continued upwards, right? So then we had some nice profits happening right here, right? Could close down on the 8%, right? This was NZD USD, close right here 8% winner as price pushed higher. Then we had a sell on the GBP AUD. This was a 17 for continuation to the downside. We did end up closing that break even, however, because price started moving kind of sketchy. Let's just pull this up real quick here. GBP AUD. Alright, so it was right around here. We did enter, price started pushing down. Then we saw it just started kind of wicking from this area, right? Price started pushing up and up and up, and just kind of swaying, kind of sideways, right? So we did exit right at break even, avoided a 1% loss, which was great for the overall profits. GBP USD sell. Entering this one a little riskier coming into the session change, however, looking for a sell into the recent supports as price pushes from the daily rejection area. USD has been shaky due to the whole Russian incident. However, fundamentally, we can start seeing some USD buys into March for rate hikes as soon as the ending of this month, right? So we did get a confirmation for some possible rate hikes happening. Therefore, I am a little bit more biased to be bullish on the USD coming into March, right? And I think a lot of investors will also be very biased to the bullish side. So hence we did take a buy for that, and we did take a AUD NZD sell as well, looking for continuation to the downside with an 8 pips risk. Right, looking for the trend to be broken here with minor support to indicate a drop in price. 4-hour chart shows some weak rejections to the top of the zone as well. Indications for a sell off looks probable. Waiting for that breakout to the downside for the trade. Right, so at that point we're looking for the breakout on the AUD NZD. Let's pull this real quick. We did get that breakout, price pushed. Right, we got that break. And I believe at that point I did set a sell at 1.07245 on AUD NZD, heading out, willing to enter if price triggers here, right? And that is what we were looking at, right? This area right here, price pushed, got triggered in, and as you can see, it continued down. Here on market close is around 3% in profit, right? But I believe I exited at break even. Around break even as price came right here. Knew that it was probably going to just retest that area right here, really close to that area, but not willing to risk it. Really wanted to end this off the week in all profits, so hence came out at break even, called it whatever, right? So here, right, close trade near break even, slight profit. That's what we did for the AUD NCD. Don't mind, it is in profit right now. So anyone who did held, then congrats to them. Also with the GBP USD, the sell. I'm sorry if if you hear me sniffing through this video, guys. I really apologize. I'm running those allergies. Right. So the sell we did happen here. If we look at the daily level, we did have this rejection area right here, the multiple rejections, price rejected here once very strongly, right? And all of these daily wicks from this level, right, showing some area of significance. Whatever you want to call it, maybe order blogs, distribution, whatever. I don't use all these fancy terms to just explain price action. Price action is what price action does. It's showing a rejection, right? And at that point, we did have here on the 1 hour, right, this correction push back down from that level after this bullish move to the upside, right, showing that indication that, all right, more than likely we could possibly see another sell off right from this area. Again, more heavy on the USD bullishness at this point in time, because we are expecting rate hikes to happen in the coming month. Hence, we should see, despite whatever is going on in the geopolitics of things, we should see an increase on the USD, a lot of USD buying starting to probably happen, right? So moving into this week, this new week, we could probably see some GBP selling, right? Some selling on the yen as well, and be a little bit more bullish on stuff like the Canadian dollar and probably AUD as well, right? And obviously the USD. So that is what happened here. We did come into this area, rejected, and as you can see, price pulled down. We exited somewhere around right here on this candle right here, so 2.5% around there. And as you see, price just pushed back down to right here. And an honorable trade to actually mention is CHF JPY. This was the last trade I sent for the week before market close, and the trade idea chat, right, for CHF JPY, right? This was a trade. Price stop of 10 pips, looking for that push down. Came here candle close. So currently I am in 1%, maybe around 1%, 1.5% in profit right now on this trade being closed right here. I'm looking for that continuation moving downwards. We should see some JPY strength against the CHF right now. Again, because we do have that overall USD move being played, starting to play out. Right. Looking at the normal trading group now, I'm just going to scribble through this real quick. Right, there's two trades going into this week for the normal trading group. Euro CHF and NAS 100. That was the two trades. Right, so yeah, started with the 14th here. Right, started with the 14th. We did take that CAD CHF. Same thing happened right here, right? So small risk manager, right? And then on the Euro GBP, manage that, right? This was the update right here. Price at break even, looking for the continuation momentum and so forth, and can wait for the break of the lows for a better confirmation. But I was willing to enter here. I'm comfortable with doing so, right? Close at break even, that happened. Euro CHF sell, entered here with 1% risk, looking for a push, price to push lower off of this resistance for a continuation lower. If we can see that clear rejection, you can wait for that current candle close for a better confirmation bias. Ideally want to see price wick from this area coming closer to the candle close for a better conclusion and overall probability that that sell off could occur, right? So this was it, right? This was the Euro CHF. We just look into here, Euro CHF. Sorry guys, my charts. I do not have these organized at all. Right, the Euro CHF, we're looking for it to happen somewhere right here. Right, if I do remember correctly, let me just open this up for you guys. Right, so the Euro CHF, we're looking right at this area right here, right? Price came in right here. As you can see, got wicked out almost immediately on that one candle, right? Price just pushed higher, right? At that point, was looking for the overall continuation of the initial bias, because again, once you do have the bias correct, right? Well, sort of to say, once you do have an unbiased bias, right? A bias based on price action and not ego, then you can stick with your initial bias. You just have to look for better entry points or better areas where you can start seeing that initial, that probability that you did have for price to actually happen, right? And such was the case for this, right? So we did get here, price looks right for the entry, risk 0.5% to 1% move, moves kind of shaky, right? So that was something we also noticed though, right? Euro CHF short, I'm still with the short bias here on Euro CHF, so I was willing to enter here at the resistance zone. As you can see, this was at a higher point right here, right? That was right around this area right here, and price started to go all the way down, played out into profit. We came out somewhere right around here, I believe, which would have been around 4%. And sorry, just running through this, guys, because there's not much to really say, but we're just looking at the overall profitability of the groups, right? And this is something that we have been doing consistently. I have been doing consistently, profit after week, and usually the target is 5% a week minimum. But once you do make that 5%, we're able to cater 3% aside and then here's a 2% risk. Continuing looking for better, more gains, which is part of my dynamic risk management strategy, right? So we do have news coming up that should influence price a bit, see a potential push into profit. Prices being a little shaky to say the least, and so forth, so forth. Really do give analysis on these things a lot of the times. JPY continuation, this was something to look at as well. But I don't think the continuation on this did not happen as planned. Let's just look at the JPY. Let's look at the JPY real quick. Right, so we are looking somewhere around this area right here. Right, so right around here I was looking for a continuation. Price pushed up a little bit, but then you see we did kind of maintain this level right around here, and then price failed to hold that level and actually pushed away from it, right? So this resulted in a small loss as well on the JPY, right? So that was a small loss for me. Currently up 2%. This is where we recovered from the initial loss that we did have. GJ did push down a little bit right here. We did enter on a second trade, end up in a little bit of profit. Euro GBP, possible sell here as well. That's the other trade that you're seeing here. The Euro GBP, this is where we entered right around this area, just to show you we're not capping, because I do not cap. You can look at the levels so that things, you can see with clarity that okay, he actually not talking shit, he actually took the trade and it actually went in profit. It actually did what he said it was probably going to do, right? So right around here we entered. This was our stop loss right above here. You can see these are the same levels, right? Nothing was changed, right? Price came real close, and you can see we started selling off, and this is where we at right now, closer somewhere around here, maybe 3% into profit, right? But again, we do not cap, right? I don't cap in my groups, right? The GJ did came into profit here, right? At that point you could have closed, made back the L, slight profits here, right? And this is where I was sharing from my phone screen, because I was not at my desk at the point of time, right? And these were the NZUSD and NZD CAD playing out, which was from inside the VIP group, which was just eaten insanely, right? So this was VIP group trades overall, over 15% for the week thus far, right? Your CHF sell off, looking for some continuation right here, and it just happened instantaneously with the news. Again, you just have to be sure, know what you're doing, have your biases and everything correct, you fact check, then there's no reason for you not to take your trades and be confident about them, right? And we were already in a decent amount of profits. So if prices lose at us, then it would have been a small gain rather than a loss, right? Price pushed down, gain profit again as well, and the Euro GBP started playing off as well, starting round off too, right? This was where we took the sell on the GBP AD, and then we exited at break even right here, half off. These were my open positions at that point of time, and as you can see, the GBP USD played out. We closed at break even. Euro GBP closed here for 3% plus. Stop loss at 1% profit right now if you decided to leave it open. And this was a possible short here on the NZD USD. I did not end up taking it, but it was 17 pips of a stop loss, waiting on candle close, then enter, right? And we averted the loss. Here's that. And sorry, I'm just running through these real quick, right, guys, because this is just a recap. Not much to say in terms of something that we could have done better. Everything follow the plan. Use the dynamic risk management strategy. 0.5% risk at first, with a 3% risk overall, meaning that we have 6 times to take 6 different trade setups for some profits. And then, you know, we call it quits if, you know, it didn't play out in our favor. But if we did make our profits and we do increase at least by 1.5%, we could take a 1% risk on the next trade. Once that trade is a profit, we could continue using that 1% risk, which is the dynamic risk strategy that I use for myself in order to maximize our gains, which is why I'm able to enter trades with 2% risk, sometimes halfway into the week, right? Every week, right? So this was a UGP close right here with a 20k game. Sorry, again, kind of allergies acting up, guys, so I'm sorry for my speech. Your CHF smacked both TPs. I was out of this at the point of time, but it's nice to see when your trades do run all the way to your take profits as well, right? So yeah, it was a crazy month. We did crazy returns, right? All the time we do crazy returns. Sometimes what people decide to do in a month, we do in a week, sometimes in 2-3 days, right? And we broke even on the 80 NZD. Price tested here, great opportunity to enter for a low next week, right? Which is what I was stating right around here on the 80 NZD. Which part? 80 NZD, right? Which was right here. This retest right here could have possibly entered for a continuation low, right? So here again, we did acknowledge that this was a possible entry point, retest point for price to continue moving downwards, right? And that's it. Both groups did make a same amount of profits, and as you know, I take each trade that I do send, so you could just imagine how much of a percentage return I did. I'll leave that up to you guys to calculate for yourself. But this group did over 12%, and the other group did over 15% as well. I did do over 35% for the week. I just, yeah, letting you guys know. Right? So yeah, those were the trades. I did send some trades in these other groups that you are seeing here. That's something that I do when I do my analysis and stuff like that. Currently, right, some of you guys have been asking about the VIP group. Currently we do only have 4 members in the VIP group. I still do have 15 spaces available, and I do teach my risk management strategy, as well as my fundamental analysis and also technical analysis. Right here in the beginner's guide, you'll get access to these Google Drives as well, right? To, you know, get to see what it is that he's talking about, how he makes his profit, and so forth, right? I'll actually have to blur that out because the link is right there. So yeah, 15 spaces still available, guys. The price for the membership is $80, right? This is an 80 monthly recurring fee. Obviously, if you are in the VIP channel and you do not see the returns that you want to see, you could get an actual refund of this initial fee that you are paying, right? So yeah, that's, you know, the little upside to it as well. But again, we always keep on winning, we always keep on eating. I make sure everybody in the group do get some sort of, you know, profits out of this. You can see we do have Dylan right here showing his profits, right? Then make over 3.7k off of some of the trade sent, right, that I sent into the group, and he's in the free trade channel group, right? And yeah, trade ideas as well. This is where I sent the CHF JPY trade, as you can see right here, entry point and everything, and price just went all the way down, looking for that continuation to continue all the way back down, taking it for like sort of a correction, right? And that's it for this video, guys. So that is the trade recap for this week, or well, the week prior, so whatever this video is released, from the 14th to the 18th. That is the trade recap right there, right? So these were the profits that we did make. We did do an insane amount of profits in both groups, 15%, over 15%, sorry, in the VIP, and over 10% in the normal trading channel as well, right? And usually my target for the normal trading channel is 5%. Once you do make that 5%, any other trades I do set, you're taking out your own risk. You know, love you guys. If you do enter into the Discord, which will be linked in the description and first comment under this video, right? Once we do make that 5%, I continue sending my trades to a degree, but you take those trades of your own volition, right? And this goes for anybody, whether you're with any signal service provider or maybe you're in a Telegram group that does chart analysis and stuff like that. You take these trades at your own risk, right? You have to be able to account for your risk management and be able to really you have to be able to follow your own risk management strategy and cater for, okay, he sent this trade, he sent that trade, he sent this trade, he sent 3 trades. If all trades lose, right, that's a 3% loss for me, right? And this is just like a little we're just doing a little brain session, right? So that's a 3% loss, right? A way you could avoid that 3% loss, right, is by taking it for a 0.5% per trade, right? Which is an overall 1.5% loss if they do play against you. But if you are taking signals or you're taking analysis from someone that's profitable, highly profitable, wink wink, right? Then even though you are risking a minimum amount, right, depending on what that person's average profit target risk to reward is, at least mine is at least 1 to 3 at the very least, a 1 to 3. Then if all profit targets are made, right, which would be 9% total, that means you now come back to around a 4.5% gain, right, despite using a 0.5% risk, right, which is very low. So that is something that you need to adhere to. You need to look at these whatever communities that you are in. If you're taking analysis, you need to be able to calculate your own risk and be able to, you know, provide for the times when, okay, this trade is not guaranteed to actually play out. Maybe this week might be this person's losing week, right? So I'm taking trades on my funded account, right? So I have to adhere to some rules, which is why I have this dynamic risk management strategy. It helps me with that, right? But the thing is, for some of you guys, when you do take your trades and they start going against you and you start seeing the reds and stuff like that, you start to either one of two things. You up your risk because now you want to make back those losses and you throw risk management out the window, or you continue taking those trades that you are being sent by whoever it is that you're taking trades from, but you're not managing them wisely, in terms of you're not adhering to your risk management rule. You're not catering for the possibility that this trade can also go against you, right? What if somebody sends 5 trades for the day? All 5 hits the stop loss, that's 5% loss, right? And as you know, on any most funded account, you have a 5% loss, a 5% daily loss, right? So let's say that happens, boom, you lost 5%. Then you now lose your account. A way you could avoid that was by using a 0.5% risk. Or for the trades that you are taking from your provider, you look them over for yourself. Don't take them blindly. See if you agree or not. Don't agree just because, okay, this dude is a guru, he knows what he's talking about and stuff like that. Look at the analysis, look at what they're saying, look at it, the price action, and see if it adheres to what you think is a good trade analysis, right? And you know, be aware of the fundamentals as well, right? Something that I do, I use fundamental analysis in my trading strategy, which is why I'm able to make a lot of these gains because of those fundamental technical analysis that I do implement, right? But you need to be aware of the fundamentals too, in terms of, okay, FOMC minutes, for example. What if the minutes had something bad in it, you know that this is a highly impactful news event. He's looking for this trade to actually push because of the minutes, and you're like, whoa, no, because this now provides you with some sort of uncertainty that, all right, now I could possibly get wicked out of the position, right? It provides you with some uncertainty that, okay, now I could possibly get wicked out of the position, right? He's taking this trade because of this and that. However, I do not feel comfortable doing this because it's added news event, and maybe you don't trade news. So that is something you also need to be aware of, what's going on geopolitically and these news events that are coming out. Right, guys, so that's it for this video. I will do another video here on my dynamic risk management strategy and how it may help you as a beginner trader. It's the only tool in your arsenal that's yours to command, really, right? Everything else is about probabilities, but your risk management is the only thing that is yours to actually control. Right, guys, so always keep that in mind. Good risk management is what sets you apart from a good trader, a great trader, and just blown accounts, right? So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, you learned something from it. If you're now seeing this and you found the channel from the YouTube algorithm, thank God it's finally working. Then feel free to click the link in the description as well as in the first comment to join the Discord group. You can see for free things that are happening. We do have the VIP group, and we also do have the Google Drives with videos of me explaining my fundamental analysis, also my risk management, as well as my technical analysis strategies. If you're, if you want to look into that, the fee is $80 a month, recurring. And as I said, if you don't see the gains that you want to see in your first month, then feel free to hit me up and be like, oh, okay, bro, this ain't it. I want my money back. That's fine, right, guys? So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Peace, and everybody have a great weekend.